What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Resistance. Back at you with another live. Shout outs to everybody in the chat. How's my audio? Hit 1 if it's good. Hit 2 if I need to work on it. Shout outs to Emerald City Transparency. What's going on? John McElroy's Ghost. Oh, what up? So we had the Kim Potter trial today. Very interesting things happened. Seen the mother testify. Seen the police officer testify. We also have a new video of the whole situation. Shout out to Renetta Williams. Queen, all the way from Wynn, Arkansas. Lose now in Perth. Brian B. Buck Galloway, Level Eyes to See. What's going on? Appreciate y'all. Before we get into this Kim Potter trial, hope you guys seen the video that I put out not too long ago on YouTube and Facebook. It was a situation at the State Transportation Department. Take a look.
That if you wanted to find the person in the department that you're trying to get hold of and say, hey, I'm in the lobby or I'm in the food court right now, I'm trying to get my stuff, they could say, yeah, I can take you after my lunch, probably, maybe, or Monday or Wednesday or Friday.
But I have to do it electronically.
You have to set up an appointment with the person through an email or something. There is no one here that's just waiting for guest services.
So, sir, I'm down here for an elderly person in my family.
Okay.
They're not able to do that.
Okay.
I'm from out of town. I'm not even from here.
I understand that.
So I was trying to come down here to get information.
Okay.
I'm leaving. I'm catching a flight out of here in a couple of hours.
Okay.
I just came to visit them. They're not doing very well. Telling me they can't come down here and talk to anybody. I can't just talk to somebody.
Not on this site, no. At another site, maybe, but not on this site.
So where's your other site?
Look up Department of Transportation. They have multiple sites over Boston, right? But
that's fine. When did that become?
Why are you arguing with me, man? This isn't my policy.
When did that become the new law? Just asking you a question. When did that become the new law where I have to?
It's not law.
I have to Google or
it's not law.
Do anything electronic.
So I'm walking away.
Can I go?
I asked you to stop recording me. And I'm not saying.
What's your name, sir? Because you work for the state, right? Man,
I'm not.
Listen. Y'all can check that out. It's called Public Records Request, in parentheses, State Transportation Building, Boston, Massachusetts. I just put that out a couple hours ago. So y'all make sure y'all go check it out, either on Facebook or YouTube. Once again, shout out to everybody in the chat. We about to cover this Kim Potter trial, going to this new video that they had going on. Shout out to Joe Gange, all the way from Alaska. Shout out to Joe Gange, my man. Appreciate you. What's up, Rick? My man Rick in the house. Robbie McGrath. Appreciate all y'all coming through. Let's get into this video. We're going to cover this Kim Potter trial. Okay? We're going to see what type of development came out of this new video. Let's check that out.
I'm going to show you now Exhibit 10, and this is a composite video, 2 videos of both your body-worn camera and your squad camera. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we would offer Exhibit 10.
Exhibit 10 will be admitted into evidence and you may publish.
I didn't get a chance to see it today, so this is all new to me. For those who didn't get a chance to see it as well earlier today, it's a review of the Kim Potter trial.
And earlier you testified about some of what was going on here, and so I just want to kind of ask a few questions.
Shout out Dreamland Moore.
This is following the vehicle.
Mark Kanzerski.
And the stop, correct?
Yes.
All right.
West Side Accountability.
let's go ahead and play the video, please.
New video, y'all.
Now, while we have no audio, this in the bottom right corner is your dash camera, correct?
Yes.
And the upper left corner is your body-worn camera, correct?
Yes.
Can you just show the jurors generally where you were wearing that on body-worn camera?
On that day, my body cam was placed in the middle of my chest.
Shout out Cynthia Barone.
I'm a Union Boy, yellow. I'll be on 63rd and Orchard Lane.
Really? Thank you.
Move forward.
So, of course, y'all, that's Duante Wright right there in front of the vehicle. This is video that we haven't seen. This was released today in court. So this is the actual stop before what we seen.
You're going to stop right here.
Hey, can I get a second car over here, please?
So it sounds like Kim Potter is in the car, is complaining about where he pulled over at. You know, usually these police officers have a problem when we don't pull over as soon as they flick their lights or get on the bullhorn. He actually pulled over and she complained about it.
Yep.
I'm going to pause it there really quickly. Just have a couple of quick questions. There was a female voice there we heard saying, "Really?" Do you recall that?
Yes.
Can you tell us whose voice that is?
Officer Potter.
Okay. And then there was a time when you said, "Get a second car here, please." Do you recall hearing that?
Yes.
And is that when you're calling on the Brooklyn Center radio to get another car?
Yes.
Right. And, okay, let's continue playing that. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, man? You got a driver's license and proof of insurance for me at all? You don't have a driver's license? Okay.
So at the rear of the car, we see Kim. This is Kim Potter. Okay, this is the one with all the experience, all the professionalism. All right, she's the one who trains other officers. She's at the rear of the car. Just pay attention.
What's your name? You're Dante? Okay, gotcha. Well, there's a couple things reason why I stopped you. The air freshener hanging down there. Yeah, and then our other question is your tabs.
Yeah, very excited. I actually I'm getting them at the moment, but due to Corona stuff and they're taking it slow, I have to
Okay. Do you have any, who's the car registered to? What's his name? Okay. All right. You have insurance on the vehicle then? You got any type of identification at all? Yeah.
Shout out to Heavy Arms.
Yeah, just keep looking for the insurance, and then I'm gonna write your name, date of birth down. All right. So, what's your?
Shout outs to GoFies. He says they ran his tag. They knew his papers were not correct. And I definitely agree with you. They know what they're doing. They got all types of tricks, all types of stuff that they could pull to find out who you are. It's no secret. They was looking for this dude anyway.
First name, how do you spell it? D-A-U-N-T? Okay. T-E? Okay. What's your middle name? R-I-U-S? Okay. What's your last name? Okay.
All the formalities right here. They know they're going to ring his ass in. That's the plan, to ring him in. But to Kim Potter, she was on some completely other shit. All right? She was on some third world shit. They had no idea. They under her. They're under her. She's the lead officer on this situation. The most experienced, okay? The highest rank. and she's the one that does the dumbest shit.
What's your date of birth? Okay.
Shout out to KO Green.
Alright, just keep looking for that. Well, you don't have a driver's license, you said.
Z.
Where you stay at? Okay, I got you, man. What's an address for you said? 2814 North Lane Drive. What's the phone number for you? Okay. 3360? Okay. Alright. So I'm assuming there's just no insurance in there then, or? Looks like it.
Otherwise, the C say that's always procedure, running for warrants so we can take them if we got them. All right. And Dreamland Moore, shout outs to her. She says exactly resistance. They run your plates before they pull people over. And what's that called? Where I'm from, that's profiling.
So this is definitely not it. That expired in 2017. So does your brother have a valid driver's license? Okay. Dallas, okay. Let me see that again. The insurance there. You said, so it should be registered now, right? Okay. So this name insured is Taylor R. Pagel. So Corvette and Buick. Okay. It came back as Dallas, yeah. So I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. Well, let's see Taylor right back, man. Just keep looking for the insurance, okay? Okay.
Shout out Kenny Powers. Kenny Powers.
I wanted to say he was lying, but I think he's honestly telling the truth. So.
So the officer said, and this is the officer that we're looking at right here, after he took all of Dante's information, he went back to the car and he exchanged a few words with Kim Potter. And one of the things that he said was, well, I want to say that he's lying, but I also want to say that he was telling the truth. And shout outs to this officer right here, because everything he did was professional. I didn't see, except for the fact that they profiled the man, okay? Well, they was already looking. It could be many ways on how they pulled him over, how they, was able to get in contact with him like they did, or could have just been happenstance that they were behind him as he was going down the street. But regardless of the point, regardless of the fact, the situation is that this officer, as far as taking all the information from Dante throughout that whole process, he was professional. He remained professional the whole time.
Heading on the frontage road toward
Dante. So.
1938, I see your code 4. Do you want me to continue?
Yeah, if you want to just keep going.
Yeah, don't go for yourself and shoot a thing. Did you go for yourself?
Yeah, I did.
05 to 19, not sure where you are, but I'm about 31, so.
Yeah, don't go for yourself until you know who you got.
13 to 67.
Okay.
Then I'll continue.
Whoa, wait a minute. What's that she said? Hold on.
05 to 19, not sure where you are, but I'm about 31, so.
Yeah, don't go for yourself until you know who you got.
13 to 67.
Okay.
Then I'll continue until,
Right, because somebody said you know who you got.
13 to 67.
Okay.
Then I'll continue.
Go for yourself until you
Yeah, if you want to just keep going.
Yeah, don't go for yourself until you Did you go for yourself?
Yeah, I did.
05 to 19, not sure where you are, but.
I did not catch that. If anybody caught it, put it in the chat. She sounded like she was talking some shit right there. I could not catch it. If y'all know what she said, put it in the chat. I'm surprised that prosecution didn't stop and try to clarify what she said.
I'm about 31, so.
Yeah, don't go for yourself until you know who you got.
13 to 67.
Okay.
Then I'll continue until,
Right, because somebody said once.
Okay.
Just don't run him that way. You might not come up with the right one if you gave the wrong name, right? Just run him as Duante Wright.
Same to you, Kenny Powers.
No, just run him like you were in DVS.
Yeah.
Just don't put all that other information in it.
Oh, okay.
See what it gives you.
Shout outs Brooks Stevens. Appreciate that, Brooks Stevens. Don't code for yourself until you know what you got. All right. So basically, I guess she's saying, don't put the cart before the horse. All right. Go steady, pace by pace, like this motherfucker should have. I'm speaking of Kim Potter.
He said his brother is Dallas.
Your incident has been updated. New message.
Or Darius.
Status. Suspended. Mail. State records hit.
See? You don't want to code for yourself.
So basically, they done hit the jackpot. Yeah, all systems is telling them that he's hot. Okay? Besides that, him being hot did not constitute Kim Potter for getting all her training, all her experience, and unloading any. Nope. I'm sorry, it didn't.
Sorry, that's the track. Curious. Keep going.
It's gross.
Duante Wright.
Weapons violation.
And it smells like marijuana in the car, so second one we got. Affirmative.
You know what I'm trying to female is because there's no FP.
Yep.
So, harassment on.
He's got a gross misdemeanor warrant, and there's no FP for a female, so I need to ID her. There's also residue, like weed on the middle console, so probably search the car. Apparently the car is his brother's.
You want to tell him what the warrant's for?
Warrant is for the weapons violation.
Has been updated.
Shout outs breaking the flow.
So
Duante Wright.
Shout outs Jonathan
Dante.
K.
Duante Wright.
Duante Wright.
Want those Wright
Joel
brothers?
too.
Not the ones that fly, but the other one?
Hey, so I'm just gonna get him out and I cuff him up. I mean, he's got a warrant, so I'm just gonna get him cuffed up.
So they're going to proceed with apprehending him because he's hot. Sad fact of the situation, he is hot, so they got to go and pull him in. All right. This is what we haven't seen. This brings this congeals a lot of shit, okay? It brings a lot of shit together, all right? And the whole time, he's just sitting in the car. He hasn't even peeped his head. He's probably scared to death. Poor thing probably scared to death. Everybody in the car. Scared to death.
Okay.
So does that depict then the time between following him, stopping the vehicle, the first approach, and then just right towards when you next approach the vehicle?
Yes.
And the officer that appears off to the right outside the car, who is that?
Sergeant Johnson.
Shout outs Wake Up America.
And I am going to show you then the next, Your Honor, at this time we would offer Exhibit 11.
Any objection to Exhibit 11? Exhibit 11 will be admitted into evidence and you may publish counsel.
This is something that you were also able to watch before court, so you recognize this as an accurate depiction of what happened.
Yes.
And this is what you call
So,
authentication. He just authenticated that video right there. He put himself in that spot, in that place, in that position to be able to testify to what he saw Kim Potter do.
11, this exhibit includes the video of the second approach through the shooting, correct?
Yes.
Now let's play Exhibit 11.
Shout out to John Coca.
Hey Dante, fireman here. Do me a favor. Just step up. And I'll explain what's going on. You can just put your phone on the dashboard there.
Before I even play it, we already know what's about to go down. We can see where it's at just from what we've seen this earlier this year. This is the new footage, but we see what's about to go down. The blitz is already in place, and Kim Potter is about to strike. But I just stopped it right now because y'all know I'm the replay king. I replay the shit out of it. I don't want to get on y'all nerves. So let me know after you see it. After you see it the first time from this angle, if you want me to go back, slow it down, and play it maybe 1 or 2 times more. Let me know.
Okay. And then the paper. I'll explain all that in a second, okay? Just turn around. Put your hands on your back. Okay, so you are going to be under arrest, okay? You do have a warrant, so. Don't. You're tense enough, bro. Don't do it.
Oh, wow. Fuck that. I got to take it back a little bit. I got to take it back.
You're going to be under arrest, okay? You do have a warrant, so. Don't. You're tense enough, bro. Don't do it. Don't.
Sit down. PI access 63rd and Captain Drive, Flexion 38 stop, start north on the red.
Starting north on the red, then can you repeat your first please?
Now we noticed at some point there that
So I didn't see all that. I did not see Kim Potter break down to her knees the way she did. And we do know that the car sped off, but actually seeing it, and then did we hear gunshots in the background? Or was that the crash of the car? Like, that was crazy right there.
Sit down. PI access 63rd and Captain Drive, Flexion 38 stop, start north on the red.
Starting north on the red, then can you repeat your first please?
now we noticed at some point there that your video drastically changed. Did you?
That was crazy. It appeared that Duante banged out way down the road. I don't know if he hit something twice. I don't know if he hit 2 objects or 1 object, but it looked like he swerved off the road into the grass, but it also looked like he hit a car before that. And then you hear sound like you hear gunshots in the back. If anybody can clarify what we heard in the background, that was crazy. That sounded like gunshots, but I didn't see any police. They all remained in the spot where they were. Duante left them where they were standing. So what, they had police down the road or something? So, and if anybody could clarify what we heard, I appreciate you. Sound like gunshots. Now you can see this officer right here, who's also on the stand. He takes lead position. All right, Kim fucked up. He assumes lead, and that's another topic for another day. But he assumes lead and tells her to sit the fuck down. You've done enough. All right, and all this is happening seconds. And I commend this young man for controlling the situation the way he did. We got Duh on the other side. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. And we have Kim in the middle, distraught. So, shout outs to this officer right here. I commend him for taking control, grabbing the ball, and keeping it.
Kim, sit down.
PI access 63rd and Captain Drive, flight 38 start north on the red.
And that's this guy right here who took control of the whole situation.
Now, we noticed at some point there that your video drastically changed. Did your body camera fall off at that point?
Yes, it did.
And at some point, did you pick it back up and put it on?
Afterwards, yes.
Shout out Jason Tickle.
I'm next going to show you Exhibit 13. Do you recognize that as the body-worn camera video from Officer Potter at the time that depicts the encounter there from her body camera?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
For Exhibit 13.
Shout out to Rose M.
Exhibit 13 will be admitted into evidence and you may publish.
13.
Sam, step on.
All right, man, here, do me a favor. Just step on the car.
Shout out Jonathan Nicola. All right, so now we done moved from the dash cam view to Kim Potter's view prior to what we've seen earlier this year. This is the new shit, fresh off the press. This is the shit that they've been holding, the juice, until the last minute. They played it in trial to die. So Kim Potter prior, at least 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes prior. Oh, okay, he's getting out the car right now. So basically within the 25-30 second range prior to what we've seen.
You got a warrant.
Shouts Rick.
Don't. You're tense up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hands on your back.
I'll tase you.
I'll tase you. Taser in her. I'm sorry. I can't get it fucked up like she got it fucked up. So let me correct real fast. Service weapon in her hand the whole time she talking that taser bullshit.
Oh my shit! I just shot him.
Shout outs Raging Cajun.
Yes! I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god! Oh my god!
All that experience, ladies and gentlemen. All that training. Down the fucking drain. Not just for Kim Potter, but for the police department themselves, okay? For law enforcement, period, and that whole fucking region, okay? This was a disgrace. Shout outs to Discerning Observer. Appreciate you, bro. This is a disgrace. He says this is all BS. Yes, it is. It's been BS since it happened. I've been on it since the day it happened. Covered that, protests, and everything behind it. And I'm back on it, just like they back on it, and we see some new shit. Shout out to Oregon Road.
Then Officer Lucky and trying to provide as best a perspective of this whole incident that we can through these. We're also able to view a composite video like this of your squad car and Officer Potter's body-worn camera during that time period. Does that sound familiar?
Yes.
All right. Your Honor, we would offer Exhibit 12.
Any objection to Exhibit 12? Okay, Exhibit 12 will be admitted, and you may publish that exhibit.
Shout out Jamal Ward. And Dreamland Moore says, you can't mix that up. She full of it. And she didn't even care. There was another person present and another officer in the line of fire. That's incompetence. And I agree with that shit.
You got a warrant.
You're not doing that? Don't. You're tensing up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Pistol in the hand the whole time. Pistol in the hand the whole time. Look at this shit. I'll tase you with the pistol in your hand.
I just shot him.
Unload it.
Yes! I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Okay, so of course, like let's just keep it real. You know, here on the Resistance channel, we keeps this shit real. Let's just keep it all the way 100. We know that the defense is going to use that. This her falling to her knees. Oh my God, I shot him. And they're going to use that to warm over the jury's ass. Okay? They're going to use that. All sympathetic and, hey, look at her. You could tell that she made a mistake. And listen, she's supposed to be a professional. Many years on the job, teaching others. I mean, are they going to go to the breakdown of how she taught officers? You know what I'm saying? Because we don't know where she messed up at. It could have been a day where she was just so stressed that she shouldn't have been working. Or it could have been how she actually pulled her shit out on a motherfucker. We don't know. What we do know is that she fucked up. And she going to have to pay for it. We're not going to go for this. Oh, she was distraught, fell on her knees, and I just shot him. You had the pistol in your hand the whole time. You were negligent. You've got to pay for that. And it has to come out your ass.
I access 63rd and Captain Drive, flight from 38 start north on the red.
Starting north on the red, then can you repeat your first part?
Shout out to Lisa Ryan.
At the end of that video, there's a small black item or object in the street in front of you. Did you see that?
Yes.
Do you know what that was?
Yes.
What was that?
My body camera.
Okay. Did you at that point go pick it up?
Yes.
And in the moments after this video stops, does Ms. Potter continue to make statements about what happened?
Yes.
And so we would at this time offer Exhibit 14, which is
Look, Eddie Joe Coleman. Shout out to Eddie Joe Coleman. He says, no way she thought that was a taser, holding it right in front of her face, aiming it, giving the other officers time to move extremely far out the way. For tasing, I think the whole thing was planned when they were back at the patrol car. At least in her head.
composite of body-worn camera videos occurring after. Okay?
An objection to Exhibit 14. Exhibit 14 will be admitted into evidence and you may publish.
You can play Exhibit 14, please.
I
shot him. Get in the car.
Yes!
Shout out Stop Injustice.
I shot him! Oh my God!
See, that don't mean shit to me. You know, if I was on, first of all, I wouldn't even have made it in the box. They would have been X me out. But let's just say if I happened to get in that box, all that shit right there, oh, I shot him, and she's falling to the ground and all distraught. That don't mean shit to me. Okay? You were the tradesman of that tool. You fucked up.
I got it.
Nope. I ain't going for it. My group can't go for that. No can do. I'm not going for that bullshit. I don't care. It don't mean nothing. I know the defense is going to pop fly with that bullshit. I know they going to pop fly with it. I'm me as a juror. Nah, I'm not going for it. Now, I'm questioning y'all real quick. This is what I want to know. Do you think she's going to get off? Or do you think she's going to get some time? And if anybody want to come up and talk about it, I'm going to drop the link. I'll drop the link. And just beware, I do have a couple trolls that like to play games. So I will be screening the shit out of anybody that comes up. Just forewarning, okay? But I'm going to drop it right now. And if you want to come up and talk about if she's going to do time or if she's going to go scot-free. And this is the same courthouse, ladies and gentlemen, that George Floyd, Derek Chauvin trial was happened at. Okay, I see a familiar face in the courtroom as well. So if you think she's gonna get off, or if you don't think she's gonna get off, I want to hear it and keep it real. Keep it real. If you're going to come up here and play, just know that your ass is going to be out of here. Shout out to McBandit.
Are you okay? Just breathe. Just breathe.
Yeah, all that shit's out the window for me.
Just breathe.
I mean, she should have got an Academy of fucking award for this. Have they came out yet? Is it around that time? Because she should be in the runnings for this shit right here. Oh.
No, you're not.
Yeah, that guy was trying to take off with me in the car.
It's okay. Just breathe.
Shout out to Raging Cajun, my man. He just hit us with a real one. Raging Cajun, she has to pay. Just like peeps accidentally leave babies in hot cars. Oh yeah. Those motherfuckers go do time. They don't play with that shit. They take you straight from jail to courthouse to motherfucking prison when you do shit like that. She's playing with motherfucking lives. She got people's lives on her hip every day, all day. And you mean tell me what she drink? Did they give her a piss test? I want to know. They should have checked her from the rooter to the motherfucking tutor. Okay? Because something was wrong with this Kim Potter chick on this day.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
He's still okay. Breathe.
Oh, I got Pootie Tang in the background. Bring Pootie Tang in real quick. Pootie Tang, what's up, bro?
Not too much, man. What's up with you?
What you got to say about the situation right here?
I live here in Minnesota. I used to live there in Brooklyn Center. I think she's going to serve the time.
All right. Pootie Tang says he thinks she's going to serve the time. How much time? Just real quick, how much time? What do you think she's going to get? I mean, just off your head, what the guidelines of Minnesota.
She's probably going to do about 2 years and then another decade on paper.
Yo, Pootie Tang, I appreciate that, bro. I'm going to let the next person come in and see what they got to say, all right?
All right.
Holla at you. Pootie Tang says she going to do a little time. But it ain't the time it's going to be the time that's disrespectful. I guarantee you. I think Pootie Tang is right, but it's going to be the time that's going to be disrespectful to the people.
Oh my God!
Kim, take your breath.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!
Driver, stop breathing.
Oh, no!
No, just go.
Oh God!
Had no idea she was acting this long. She was acting out this long. Had no idea. I ain't going to straight say she was faking, okay? But I know all that shit ain't real. Because she know body cameras is rolling like a motherfucker, okay? So, trust me, anybody would be doing that shit right now if they was in their right fucking mind. Because let's keep it real. She was in her right fucking mind as well as in her official capacity. All right? So, all this shit right here, once again, is out the fucking window for me.
We can get the road shut down westbound on 63rd.
New Edge Designs. She would have been better off faking. She did it on purpose. That's a hard one right there, New Edge Designs. But I feel where you coming from. I can understand why you feel the way you feel. Okay, I'm pretty sure you've seen a smug motherfucking cop like her before, and you could just sometimes see it in them. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. But I see where you come from.
Squad, not yours.
Officer Lucky, during that video, there's a point when Miss Potter is on the ground and she says something about prison, and you said, "No, you're not." Do you recall what she had said about prison?
I do not recall exactly what she said about prison.
Did you hear it on the video today?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said, "I'm going to prison."
And then you said, "No, you're not." Right?
Yes.
No, you're not. That's compelling shit right there. Yeah, the officer saying, "Listen, we seen you just shoot the shit out of the motherfucker. You're not going to prison." Listen, even though a motherfucker can say, "Hey, that was just something the officer mentioned, it doesn't hold no weight." Nah, that's coming from her partner, okay? That's coming from her underling. He ain't going to jail. Remember, he took control of the situation. He said, "Sit down." Whether he was talking out his ass or not, it was still some damning shit to say. I'm just saying.
It hurt her at the time.
Yes.
Miss Potter is on the ground and she says something about prison, and you said, "No, you're not." Do you recall what she had said about prison?
Shout out to Discerning Observer. Got a new member in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Discerning Observer. I appreciate you, bro. And the rest of y'all can just, Hit the likes. Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for everybody.
I do not recall exactly what she said about prison.
Did you hear it on the video today?
Yes.
What did she say?
She said, "I'm going to prison."
And then you said, "No, you're not." Right?
Yes.
So you had heard her at the time.
Yes.
And at the end of that video there, there's some talk about blocking traffic and moving a squad car. Can you explain, just for the jury, basically what you did then to help secure that stop scene?
Yes, so what I did, there was, I got on my radio, other squads that were en route to the scene. I knew that we needed to leave our cars there, and I wanted to at least have the west side of the street on 63rd Avenue of Orchard Avenue shut off so cars can't come through.
And were you able to do that?
Yes.
How did you do that?
At that point, I was directed by Sergeant Johnson to take his squad, and that is when I jumped in his squad car and parked it in the middle of the road to block off traffic.
And did you then remain at the scene of the stop there for some period of time?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately how long you were there?
Whoa. We got a special one backstage. I gotta pause this. I got my man Wake Up America backstage. I got to bring him in. I gotta pause this real quick. Wake Up America, what's up, bro?
I'm doing good, my friend. First and foremost, I want to thank you for all your hard work. Believe me, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you. And let me see, I don't even know. I'm not a techie guy. I don't know what the hell to do. But
I'm about to. I was about to ask you.
I thought I was never prejudiced because I grew up in Boston, in the rough neck of the woods, and
Boston native, y'all.
Yeah. And then it seems like I met you online and everything. And then my son married this beautiful African queen that's a jewel of a wife. And I've got this baby that is just a granddaughter that's awesome. And after all this and meeting you, I believe I did have some prejudice in my heart. I do. And I asked God to remove it any way He can, you know. And I'm just so grateful I've met you, John, believe me. And regarding this whole thing, this woman needs to be doing some serious time. Because I know if I pulled a gun out, I'd be dead.
Right.
You just can't go shooting back at the blue. It's impossible. Much as sometimes I'd like to, you know. Anyway, I just thought I'd try to figure this shit out, John, and I just want to say thank you, man. You've been a very gracious all, man.
Oh man, I want to say thank you. I was going to ask you, what do I owe the pleasure of you coming up here? I mean, all the times we communicated just through email alone, all the love you sent, and that's just between you and I. It's this great camaraderie that you and I had within the past year or so, just communicating through email. I want to thank you for that, man, because you've done a lot of things during the down times of my situation, my little lengthy career in this situation right here. You know, I appreciate that. I thank you, bro, for real. Wake up, America.
You, John. I really appreciate all you've taught me and all you've done in my life. And, you know, look at me. I've got the face for radio, they say, you know. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a blessed and safe night.
You too, my friend. Love you. Bye-bye.
Oh, man. Shout out to Wake Up America, y'all. I appreciate that. Let's get on to the video.
I would say approximately about 2:44 p.m.
is when you left the scene?
Yes.
And, you know, I think I never even asked you at the beginning about what time it was that you initiated the stop. Do you recall?
Shout out to Aubrey.
Yes, the initial stop, I believe, would have been 1:54 p.m.
And so you were still there at the scene at 2:44. How did you leave the scene?
I left
Shout out to D
I was partnered
Hayes.
with a.
Oh, D Hayes in the house. D Hayes said white privilege. She will probably get off with probation. Ooh. That's that hard shit right there. People don't want to hear that. Shout outs for D Hayes for hitting us hard with that, because that's real. That's real. Okay? When it could be anybody of color, they could get 20 years for that shit. Okay? And we're talking about somebody within a legitimate occupancy, within a legitimate occupation. So as far as Kim Potter or anybody, any kind of city worker, they could get 20 years if it's a person of color. D. Hayes, white privilege. She would probably get off with probation. That's a hard one, but it was said. Shout out to D. Hayes for saying that. I had to pause for a minute. Got me all tongue twisted with that one. D. Hayes in the house, y'all.
I'm going to show you now Exhibit 10. And this is a composite video, 2 videos of both your body-worn camera and your squad camera. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Your Honor, we would offer Exhibit 10.
Exhibit 10 will be admitted into evidence and you may publish.
They moving. Look at his face. You see his face? Peep the face, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take it back. All right? And I want to slow it down. And I'm going to explain to you what that face is about. Let me speed it up a little bit. The face is about to come. It's called the Rock face. The Rock is about to settle upon his whole mactician. And his mactician is what we're looking at right now.
And earlier you testified about what some of what was going on here, and so I just want to kind of ask you a few questions about that. This is following the vehicle and the stop, correct?
Yes.
All right. Okay, let's go ahead and play the video, please.
That was the Rock we just looked at, because he's authenticating all this shit. He's authenticating all this shit. And he knows this is going to be damning evidence against Kim Potter, all right? And he's realizing that he's getting all the information. See, this motherfucker right here is smooth. We've experienced this motherfucker a couple months back with the fucking Derek Chauvin trial. He was on the scene with that shit, and if I'm wrong, correct me, but I'm pretty sure this was the motherfucker, middle-aged white dude. I forgot his name. If y'all know his name, put it in the chat, but he's the smooth motherfucker that, had the victory on Derek Chauvin. And he just smoothed him over and just sucked up all this information, got him to authenticate all these videos, okay, of what happened. And that's damning evidence against Kim Potter. I don't care what you say, how much it's going to work, it's still evidence against the situation, against Kim Potter.
Now, while we have no audio, this in the bottom right corner is your dash camera, correct?
Yes.
And the upper left corner is your body-worn camera, correct?
Yes.
Can you just show the jurors generally where you were wearing that on body-worn camera?
On that day, my body cam was placed in the middle of my...
Dina Dotson Capel. We got Dina Dotson Capel in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Shout outs to Dina Dotson Capel. She says, I think it's the blue line privilege. That's deep. That's deep. That's taking it above. That's taking it above white privilege. We do know blue line privilege is more than white privilege, right? Yeah, blue line privilege trumps white privilege. If you ask me, I think blue line privilege trumps white privilege. So that's a nice one right there. Shout outs to Dina Dotson Cable. That was a true hitter right there. I think it's the blue line privilege.
Chest.
For a Union Boy Yellow. It'll be on 63rd and Orchard Lane.
Really? Okay,
Move forward.
You're gonna stop right here.
Hey, can I get a second car over here, please?
I'm gonna pause it there really quickly. Just have a couple of quick questions. There was a female voice there we heard saying, "Really?" Do you recall that?
Yes.
Can you tell us whose voice that is?
Officer Potter.
That's Officer Potter. Like I said at the beginning, she was mad because Duante stopped pretty much immediately after they put on their lights and, proceeded to pull him over. He stopped. She got mad. Really? That's enough right there to know that she was set the fuck off before she even made contact with him. What are you getting upset in your official capacity? Why are you getting upset because he pulled over immediately after you indicated for him to pull over? That's crazy.
And then there was a time when you said, "Get a second car here, please." Do you recall hearing that?
Yes.
And is that when you're calling on the Brooklyn Center radio to get another car?
Yes.
All right. And, okay, let's continue playing that. Thank you.
Shout outs Wake Up America.
Hey, what's going on, man? You got a driver's license and proof of insurance for me at all? You don't have a driver's license? Okay. What's your name? You're Dante? Okay, gotcha. Well, there's a couple things reason why I stopped you. The air freshener hanging down there?
Air freshener. Correct me if I'm wrong. Listen, I get fed a lot of information through YouTube, other news sources, through reading the newspaper, which I really shouldn't be doing, but I try to dissect the truth out of it and throw the bullshit away. But haven't they banned the air freshener thing hanging from the rearview mirror? I could have swore I've seen something. Can somebody clarify that for me if they have? But this motherfuckers is worrying about air fresheners. And yes, we know it's an excuse to use just to get you to, put your gears in park. New Edge Designs. All police enforce unjust laws. They are bad from inception. That's deep. Yeah, I believe that one too. Yeah. It's all about, to me, if you ask me, it's all about revenue, getting paid first, getting that money in. A body is a money. Okay? A body is money. And if you can cite him, if you can arrest him, if you can kick his ass, that's money coming in. That's how they feel. So shout out to New Edge Designs. All police enforce unjust laws. They are bad from inception. That's deep.
Yeah, okay. And then our other question is your tabs.
I'm getting them at this moment, but due to corona stuff, it's been taking slow. I haven't set up an appointment.
Okay. Do you have any, who's the car register to? What's his name? Okay. All right. You have insurance for the vehicle then? You got any type of identification at all? Yeah.
Barbara White. One bad apple no longer flies. The roots of this tree are rotted. That's true. That's true. There's no way, there's no fucking way that this little Miss Kim fucking Potter is the only one that's doing foul shit like this. And she's a trainer. She's teaching motherfuckers. Really? I'm telling you, she done taught a couple bad motherfuckers. And I don't have no axe to grind with Brooklyn Center Police Department, but I do think that Chief Gannon should have brung us her fucking head the minute that this shit went down, at least within the next few hours.
Yeah, just keep looking for the insurance, and then I'm gonna write your name, date of birth down. All right. So, what's your first name? How do you spell it? D-A-U-S-O? Okay. T-E? Okay. What's your middle name?
Oh, special guest in the background. Special guest in the background. Got Stop Injustice. If y'all new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate y'all. Let me shoot to a quick commercial real quick. Shout outs to Lake Speed for putting this commercial together for me. I got Stop Injustice in the background, shooting a commercial. Here we go.
It's a very psychological thing that's happening here.
Kim Powder trial, ladies and gentlemen, had several people testify today. Right now, we're looking at the new video, but I got Stop Injustice in the background. I'm about to bring her in. Stop Injustice, what's up? Stop Injustice? Uh-oh. Let me put my shield up just in case people are frauding. And let me get back to Stop Injustice to see if it was her. Stop Injustice. Here we go. Here we go. You there?
I don't know what the hell. Hold on. I need to see what the hell's going on.
Minor technical interruptions, ladies and gentlemen. She just dropped out. We're going to continue on with the video. Hopefully she'll get a situation together and be right back. Movo says USA is doomed. Man, Mike Jones, my man Mike Jones was talking about they doing mandatory vax. I'm not trying to hear it, okay? It'll be like Mad Max out this motherfucker for me, okay? I'm telling you. It's either that or die. I'm not shooting shit up in me, and there's nothing else you're going to put up in me. It's going to be what it is. It's going to be survival of the fittest, and hey, everybody going to have their turn. Everybody going to have their turn. You're going to figure out who's the strongest, who's the weakest. Stop Injustice, what's going on?
I'm back.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing? How everybody else doing?
Looking at this bullshit, Kim Powder, the new video that they're trying to warm over on us, like I give a fuck about her falling to her knees crying.
Well, you know they gotta do that.
Days of our lives bullshit, you know.
Well, I mean, you know, I heard you talking earlier before I got on that you were asking if the crying was real, or a lot of people were kind of saying that in the comments. And my thing is, yeah, the crying was real, but it wasn't for anything but her own, you know, her worried about going to prison.
Right.
And
yeah,
that's what
exactly.
that was about.
It wasn't from, I think
for a different reason.
Right. It was she was crying. She wasn't crying for the fact that she just took a life. She was crying for the fact that she believed the majority of her life was going to be taken because of what she did.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to add that.
Because she was too, she was too confident. She was too confident in the car with her partner to do some shit like that. She was too confident.
Yeah, I missed all that, and I don't quite remember what happened.
Hold yourself before this and that, and basically, doing what she was supposed to do as a senior officer.
I remember some of it, but I mean, it's been so long since I've seen it, and I've seen so much since then. It's kind of hard to kind of keep all this
Well, look,
together, you know.
we playing it right now.
Yeah, I
Look,
know, but I just got in not too long ago, and I missed the first part. I need a refresher, but I had to catch
oh,
up on it. But I saw the crying, and I was like, hmm. And I was like, she crying because she know what's going to happen. They ready to lynch everybody. That's why they leaving the force. It ain't just a vaccine mandate. They leaving that too because they starting to prosecute them, and they don't want to be involved in none of that. So that's just my opinion. But who am I? You know?
I sure like to see what the outcome of this one going to be. You know,
Well,
I don't
I
keep it
think
real. I don't think I'm gonna be doing daily coverage on it, but I will do highlights as long as the highlights are. And I'm pretty sure with this case, it's going to be juicy highlights coming out. But I don't think I'm gonna be covering the whole trial daily. No,
yeah, I heard
just
you was talking. Somebody got up here and said that she's gonna do like a couple of years, Pootie Tang or something. I can't remember what his name was. It was something like that. But
yeah.
he was saying she'd probably do a couple of years. But I mean, I don't think I think she gonna get off just cause she was crying like that, and you know she's the poor white woman. You know how they go.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
she
ain't
gonna
trying
get
to
off. They already got the we got the Arbery verdict, and you know they say we satisfied now, so they just gonna let her slide through this time. You know
Uh-uh.
it's you know one after it's every other officer.
Every other one, right?
Right. So keep the niggas down from getting upset and burning
That's
up
what
the
it
damn
seems like,
property, and
right?
then the other for like the sacrificial lamb. You know how they go.
Right.
I mean that's just
Out
my opinion.
Concerning Observer sending his love to Pootie Tang talking about water tie.
But
Discerning
yeah.
Observer.
Thank you, Renetta. I love them girls, man. They be giving me great support. I appreciate y'all. I
Oh yeah,
appreciate y'all. I had a couple of little videos, and it's amazing that you get the love from people, strangers that don't even know you, but feel your pain. I guess is what it is. You can relate to people, and that's what we should be doing. Everybody, the world be a better place. If everybody can just, we don't have to agree on everything. I mean, that's what makes us individuals, but we all feel pain. We all got love. We all, trying to just make it in this world. I don't see why it's got to be complicated. We all different. Some are, some a lot different than others. Some weirdos out here in Arizona, but that's how it go.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I ain't mean to interrupt your show, but I just had to get up here and make my
Oh
statement. I
no,
had a little bit of issue
you
trying
know
to
you
get
always
in.
welcome. Don't even talk like that. You know you always welcome.
I missed
Oh,
the what they was putting in the trial for evidence 10, and you paused on the officer face. What was
they
that he
putting
was
all
showing? They were
types of.
showing. I missed it. I was trying to get in
They're
on the chat.
He's authenticating these videos. You know, he's putting himself right there in the situation. And I was saying that each video that they put in is him authenticating and there's damning evidence against um Miss Potter right here. So they
Yeah, I
just
missed it. I
showing
wish
the
I would have
videos
saw
and
it. What they showed because you paused it and slowed down his face, and I was trying to get on the live stream. Then so I cut out right when they was going to talk about whatever it was. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, I guess.
right.
But yeah,
Aubrey said it doesn't have to be complicated. There are too many people who live to create that divide and hatred.
I know that's what the problem is.
Aubrey saying
And it's
it
like,
doesn't have
why?
to be complicated. But if you ask me, in my opinion, I don't think that will never come to that point that everybody get along. It's too many different groups that hate each other. And it's been going on for almost the beginning of time. If you ask me, I don't think it's going to happen. Not that I'm a hater or I'm the one that pushed towards negativity or violence. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think us as humans are capable to just be in harmony in unison as well. You know what I'm saying? Be in harmony within unison, should I say. I don't think that's what would ever happen. Nope. It's always going to be a motherfucker that's going to hate on you.
Well, like I said, she gonna get off is because they gonna look at his record, and he had a record, and she was the poor crying police officer that's getting persecuted by Black Lives Matter and Antifa, and that's just how it's gonna go. So we'll see. We'll just wait and see, and then when we get the verdict, I'm sure we'll be having another discussion, and I hope I ain't busy that day.
Well, if you are, you can always catch it
I know, but I want
around
to get on it and make my statement like, see, I told you.
this. Stop injustice, y'all. The one and only. Appreciate you coming up.
Indeed. No problem. I'm not busy at the moment. Feeling better now. I was a little sick this weekend, but I'm doing good now.
Well, I heard you say you just got in. I ain't want to infringe on on your dwelling rights. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want to infringe on that. So
Nah, I wouldn't have jumped on if I ain't had no time, man.
if you want to hang out, I'm gonna continue playing this video for a little bit.
Yeah, I got some time. I got my drink, I'm doing good. I'm ready.
Shout out to Ehlers Antonio. Ehlers Antonio. I hope I'm pronouncing your first name right. What up, dog?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, don't go spoil yourself until you know who you got.
Okay. But I'll continue until
Because somebody's had warrants.
Okay.
Just don't run him that way. You might not come up with the right one if you gave the wrong name, right? Just run him as Duante Wright. No, just run him like you were in DBS.
Yeah.
Just don't put all that other information in it.
Oh, okay.
See what it gives you.
He said his brother is Dallas.
I assume shortly this is when all they devices is going to start hitting like a motherfucker. Because it's going to come back that he got warrants, suspended license. So that's when they're going to take action. And she was, like I said, while she's in this vehicle, she's too confident. As a senior officer, as I say, taser, have her hand on the pistol the whole time. She got to pay for that shit. Shout out to TCM, Constitution Matters.
New message.
Or Darius.
Status. Suspended. Mail.
Shout out to Manuel Mata.
See? You don't want to go for yourself.
Dr. Freeze.
Sorry, that's the car. Queries. Keep going.
It's got a gross.
Duante Wright.
Weapons violation.
And it smells like marijuana in the car, so second one we got. Affirmative.
You're going to want to find out who the female is because there's no FP.
Yep.
Harassment her.
He's got a gross misdemeanor warrant, and there's an OFP for a female, so I need to ID her. There's also residue, like weed on the middle console. So, pricers.
Shout out to Aubrey. He got a good question. It says, Dante's mom testified he never had a license. Can a non-existent license be suspended? Yes, it can. You can have a license. You can drive a vehicle. This is how it goes. If you drive a vehicle and never had a license, you'll be issued a ticket. However they're going to do it, they're going to take it to the extent of locking you up. But you're going to be issued a license number on that ticket. You're going to have that license number. All right. And whether you're not supposed to be driving or not, it's going to reflect from that license number. And it's always going to be on your record. If you do, and if you are able to apply for a driver's license, the same license number that you receive when driving without a license the first time, that's the license you're going to have. That's the number you're going to have on your license. Word up. I know it is in PA. That's what happened to me. I know it is in PA, so I would assume that's how it is. You have to be issued some kind of number, you always want to have some kind of code to recognize who you are with a citation, especially if you pulled over for driving without a license.
Oh yeah, they know.
Car.
Yeah.
The car's his brother's.
You want to tell me warrants for?
Warrant is for the weapons violation.
Has been updated.
So
Duante Wright.
Duante
Wright.
Wright.
The Wright brothers, not the one that died, but the other one.
Hey, so I'm just gonna get him out and cuff him up. I mean, he's got a warrant, so I'm just gonna get him cuffed up. Okay.
So does that depict then the time?
So I'm gonna shoot up to this point one more time to where Dante tense up and basically Kim Potter assumes lead. That's what she does. She assumes lead and she jumps the gun. Right? She jumped the gun, right? That's crazy. And she killed this man.
Okay, so you are gonna be under arrest, okay? You do have a warrant, so.
At least he's not in the wheelchair. They shoot him in the back. Man.
And one more time from her angle.
Do me a favor, just step up the car. Don't. I'm not doing nothing. Don't. You're tensing up, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Can't turn back.
I'll tase you. She says I'll tase you twice with the pistol in her hand. With the pistol in her hand. What's up with this?
I think it's because they so used to training constantly pulling that weapon, and it was just a robotic action. Because I mean, they tell you to put the taser on your less dominant hand for a purpose, so you can know that's your taser, and your gun is in your most, dominant hand. So they're supposed to know that, but they train so much with these pistols day in and day out. It's just a natural reaction, I think, with a lot of them. Except for that dude who shot the guy in the back in the wheelchair out here. Except for that guy. Except for him.
Right, that was crazy. But still, all in all, she got to pay for this shit.
I mean, yeah. They make everybody else pay for it if it's an accident or not.
I'll tease you! I'll tease you! Taser!
Wow, he shot me.
Oh, my shit! I just shot him. Yes! I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Then Officer Lucky, in trying to provide as best a perspective of this whole incident that we can through these, we're also able to view a composite video like this of your squad car and Officer Potter's body-worn camera.
Okay. Now, this wasn't the only thing that happened. What'd you say?
I was responding to Constitution Matters. Yeah. He said it was an execution in Tucson.
Oh, that Tucson incident was not an accident. It was an execution. Shout out to the Constitution Matters. That is true. That is so true. That was crazy. What's going on? Like, did they bring him up on charges yet? I haven't heard anything. You heard anything?
I haven't heard anything. And I had the news on the day, and I didn't hear nothing.
That's crazy.
Maybe they're too busy. They protesting vaccine mandates out here. I was downtown yesterday, and there's people everywhere with their signs and cops everywhere, and yeah. So they was busy with that yesterday, but I still haven't heard anything besides him getting fired.
All right. Hey, look. They need to hurry up.
Yeah.
They need to hurry up. Surprised the people ain't, it's not an uproar going on in that area.
They had a protest out there. Some of the other channels that's out here had went out there and recorded. I think Direct D and a couple of those guys went out there and they were protesting, but that's all I heard. And that wasn't even on the news that I know of, but I could be wrong. I don't watch the news every day.
Right. Well, look, we seen the new video of the Potter trial. The new video of before she I guess she would say before she murdered Duante Wright.
Right.
I guess it was about 8 minutes of footage that we just viewed prior to her murdering him. But we also got, check this out. Check the defense out. Defense is too much for me.
All right, the defense may present its opening.
May it please the court, Mr. Frank and your team, Mr. Gray, Ms. Montgomery, former Officer Potter, and her family, her husband, sister-in-law, and brother, members of the jury. She said, "I'll tase you. I'll tase you." The language was direct, it was clear, it was unmistakable. And all Mr. Wright had to do was stop. He was told he was arrested on a warrant. He resisted. She said, "I'll tase you." And all he had to do was surrender.
Now listen, I want everybody to pay attention to me. And correct me if I'm wrong. Check me in the chat or come up. But when I hear some shit like that, okay, from a white man, I can't expect to think, I have to expect that he's part of white supremacist piece of shit group, okay? When you speak like that, I have to automatically expect that's what he is. But do you say some shit like that, that's fucked up. Rewind.
He resisted. She said, "I'll tase you." And all he had to do was surrender.
That's how it's been.
License tab.
That's how it's been since the beginning of time. Just surrender. All you gotta do is just surrender. And the motherfuckers that said that always belong to a white supremacist group. So I could be wrong. He's probably not part of a white supremacist group. But individually, personally, I believe he's a white supremacist. Check me if I'm wrong.
Brother.
Mentally.
Members of the jury. She said, "I'll tase you. I'll tase you." The language was direct, it was clear, it was unmistakable. And
it
all
was clear.
Mr. Wright had to do was stop. He was told he was arrested on a warrant. He resisted. She said, "I'll tase you."
And all this not because he was resisting arrest. I don't say this to say that he's using this language as a white supremacist because Duante resisted arrest and didn't comply. But in a whole nutshell, he's saying this is the reason why he got killed. If he wouldn't have done none of this, he wouldn't have got killed, and basically excuse Kim Potter's negligence. For him to come out from the door with his opening statement talking like that, he's a piece of shit.
And all he had to do was surrender. But that wasn't his plan. He continued on with his struggle. And 5 seconds later, she says, taser, taser, taser. And you're going to remember those 3 words for the rest of your life. And when she's saying those 3 words, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have to know from the facts what she is seeing. Because what she is seeing is that her partner, Sergeant Johnson, is in the car. He's a tall individual. He's going to testify probably tomorrow. But he's in the car restraining the gear shift so that Mr. Wright can't escape. And she knows.
Shout out to Rose M. Rose M says, Gen Pop for Potter. Gen Pop for Potter. I agree. Gen Pop. I got Kim Potter being a Maytag on the block, washing everybody clothes out by hand because she wants to. Let's get along, go along. Okay? Yeah, she ain't gonna be able to move like she moved on the floors. So, you know, she's gonna do, if she was able to go to Gen Pop. Let's just imagine she's able to go to Gen Pop. I doubt it. But if she is, she'd be a Maytag on the block.
That if he's not stopped, Mr. Wright's not stopped, he's about to drive away with a police officer dangling from his car. And she knows, and she'll tell you this. And when she says taser, 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 if she does nothing, if she does nothing, Mr. Wright drives away and either substantially harms Sergeant Johnson or, more likely, he kills him. So when she says taser, 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 there's one last pause. The facts will show you. Mr. Wright can stop. All he has to do is stop, and he'd be with us.
Do you hear this shit? Yo, you can't make this shit up. This shit was live earlier today.
The facts will show you. Mr. Wright can stop. All he has to do is stop, and he'd be with us.
So fuck her screaming taser, taser, and shooting pistol, pistol. Fuck all that, huh? You cold-blooded piece of shit, white supremacist. I double down on it now. Fuck him. That's crazy. That is crazy. He would be with us. Fuck her mistakes. Fuck her negligence. Wow.
But he goes. She can't let him leave because he's going to kill her partner. And so she does taser, 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 and she pulls the trigger believing that it was a taser.
Shout out to Manny Miranda Jr.
Or why else would she say it?
Shout out to Liz F.
Upon pulling the trigger a single time, which is the training for tasers, the training for gun is to pull twice, she realizes what has happened, much to her everlasting and unending regret. She made a mistake. This was an accident.
So what do you propose, Mr. Piece of Shit defense attorney? What do you propose? That she walk scot-free? Go right back to the home that she had? Go back to her job? What is your argument? What are you defending? You're defending somebody who was negligent and needs to pay regardless. If that was a room full of architects who fucked up on a building 20 years ago, and they was negligent for it to be falling down on motherfuckers, they gotta go down for that shit. They were the professionals of the tools that they held on to. And they fucked up. So they gotta go down for it. Same thing for Kim Potter. She fucked up with her tool. She gotta go down for it. She took an oath to protect motherfuckers. Okay? She was supposed to bring him into custody. She was supposed to bring him into custody, not killing. And that's what she did. And she got to pay for that because she was a professional.
She's a human being. But she had to do what she had to do to prevent a death to a fellow officer, too. Well, before I start on the facts, and they're quite a bit more deep.
The facts? You distorted this shit from the door. He talking about the facts before he bring more facts into it. I'm scared for him to bring some more shit into it. Shout out to Michael Ray Russell.
Details to this case than you just heard about over the last hour. I'd like to introduce myself once again. It's a great honor to be here. It's a great privilege to be a lawyer in America, I think, and to be able to stand before you and this distinguished court.
Quick circle jerk.
In a case of this magnitude.
Oh, man.
And we are all about to engage in the great experiment that is called the American democracy.
Can we stop sucking each other's dicks and get the trial started?
The central feature of which is a jury trial, where, according to the Constitution, if a citizen is accused of crime, her peers get to decide what the facts are and render a just verdict. It's humbling to be here, but a great honor to be her voice, along with Mr. Gray, to talk to you, to answer the questions she wants us to ask, and to present the evidence she wants us to present for her.
Are you kidding me?
And to finally argue for her at the end of the case, which will be done by Mr. Gray. It's a historic process that we're all engaged in. And I know you'll appreciate it, but it's been going on for hundreds of years, to over 200 years, in the American effort to be fair. And there's something...
Aubrey says, I may be dense, but it's not a mistake to yell taser 3 times and then unalive a motherfucker with your gun. No, it can happen. I'm not saying that it can't happen. What I'm saying is if it does happen, the person who did it has to pay for it. It's part of the game. She went into that game. Whatever game you win, you gotta own it. Stand up. You fucked up. It's over. Come on, man. Shout out to Aubrey. I hear what she's saying, but Aubrey, if you did that shit, you got to go.
Sacred about what we're trying to accomplish here. You're making an everlasting decision about a human being. And there's hardly any greater responsibility than that. Well, this is an opening statement. It's meant for the defense and the state to give you a roadmap or an overview of the case. It's my chance to tell you what the facts are, many of which were left out.
Shout out Scott Sky Linderman. What's up, my brother?
Police officers to you, because they're just not there for a second. They have lives. They have careers. And you should know more about them. So I'll talk about Kimberly Potter and her life and her career. I'll talk about Sergeant Michael Johnson. And I'll talk about Anthony Lucky. I'll give you just an overview of who they are, which you should know about.
Shout out to Manny Miranda Jr. He says, this dude is a shitbag speaker. And he said it so, he wrote it so hard, I thought he was talking about me. Then I had to remember, he doubled down on what I said. He's a piece of shit. You're right, Manny. He's a piece of cold-blooded shit.
Then I'll follow that by talking about what happened here. You know, why he was arrested. This case isn't about a license tab. It's about a bench warrant. The guy that had a harassment order and violent conduct on his part. So we'll go in second by second on what happened here.
Manny also doubled down and backed it up with, she knew she fucked up. She said she going to prison. That's an admission of guilt. Okay, you're guilty already. Why are you putting yourself in prison if it was a mistake? Come on, let's go by law. Let's just take what's going on. Let's take the words that were said in the video. Let's use law. If it was a colored person, a person of color, however you want to say it, that would have been used against them. It would have been their ass. Well, Your Honor, they already admitted that they were guilty in the video because they said they were going to prison. Come on, man.
And what she saw. Because she'll tell you that next week. But I want you to be in mind or mindful of what she saw. And then after we talk about the incident, I'll tell you about the other witnesses we're going to call to buttress and support our defense, the experts and the lay witnesses alike, and then we'll be ready to go. So I want you to hang with me for a half hour here. That's where I'm going to go.
Half hour of bullshit. He done brought the barrel in early this morning, 7:30 this morning. Brought a big barrel of bullshit. And he's ready to dump it all through that courtroom. Shout out to Ace again, my man.
So let's start with the three officers. Well, first, Kimberly Potter. She's 49 years old. Was born in 1972. 4 kids in her household. She had one of these experiences as a kid that is memorable. One day in her grade school class, a police officer named Michael McGee came to talk about bicycle safety.
Are you fucking...
It is amazing.
Wait a minute. Before we get into this story, because I want to hear this story, I'm going to rewind it just a little bit and get back to the beginning. Are you fucking kidding me or shitting me? This motherfucker really going back to her early years of school of something that was so great that happened. Who gives a fuck? It has nothing to do with her pulling her pistol out, screaming, taser, 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 shooting the shit out of Duante Wright. That's fucked up. Because guess what? If they would have went back on my shit, it'd have been talking about how I kicked somebody in the ass.
Grade school class, a police officer named Michael McGee came to talk about bicycle safety. And it is amazing what influence an adult might have on a child at any particular time, but she enjoyed the talk, and it dawned on her that she might want to be a police officer. Just by the mere fact this officer came to her class. She pursued the interest in high school. She was in Explorers, which is kind of a teenager grouping that allows kids that age to experience police work to see if they might be interested. And by the time she had graduated from high school, Totino Grace, by the way, which is in the northern suburbs, Catholic high school, maybe you are familiar with it, she had decided to be a police officer. And what she wanted to do was get a BA and then pursue her career. So she enrolled at St. Mary's University in Winona.
Shout out's perfect sense when needed.
And started down there in 1990 and got a degree in criminal justice and sociology, which are the standard majors for police officers. She graduated in 3.5 years. She was an industrious student, worked really hard. And then she started applying for work in the community. She got a job at the Anoka Regional Treatment Facility, but she wanted to get in with the police force. So she applied and was hired in 1995 to work for Brooklyn Center Police Department.
Shout out to Liz F. Brought a very important point up. She brought up a very important point. Just had to throw out that she was in Catholic school. You know, Catholic school is the sanctity of everything. It's the purity of all bullshit. Okay? So let's put that out there, you know, so we can make her as pristine as we can, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? This is a case of polishing this bitch up. All right? That's what it is.
A patrol officer. And she'll tell you one of the proudest days of her life.
Shout out to Renetta Williams. Have a good night. Queen, all the way from Wynn, Arkansas.
So that she could be a police officer. Around the same time, she married her husband, Jeff, who's the fellow with the dark suit. And they have 2 kids.
Pan the camera on
One's in the Marine Corps now, and one plays the Division I hockey in the Dakotas. And they raise their family in the Champlin area.
Shout out to S. Alex.
She started out her career as a patrol officer. She always wanted to be on the street. She took a special interest in domestic abuse victims, which will come into play in a minute. She became a part of the Brooklyn Center Domestic Abuse Task Force. She's really interested in women who are victimized by men and subject to the violence of men occasionally. And she shepherded the women through the court system, became their mentors, made sure they were treated fairly. She had a talent for negotiation. She was on the hostage negotiation team for Brooklyn Center. She was on the crisis team. She was an FTO, asked to be an FTO, which is an honor as well to train police officers. And then this day, we're going to...
All this shit, impeccable record. But this is not being mentioned for anything, okay? It's being mentioned to let the judge know what they're going to bring to the jury. This is called warming the jury's ass, okay? Let them know, hey, this girl's pure. She would never do anything like this. And we don't give a fuck if it was an accident or not. The point is she has to pay for it because she did it. You don't just walk away from no shit like this. You don't just smooth walk away from no shit like this. Not a person of your stature. Not a person of the position that you're in. The lives, every day you walk out there with them weapons on your hip. You have people's lives in your hands. And you have to not play with those lives, but take care of those lives and be respectful about it. Okay? You had no respect for that weapon that you had in your hand. Because you wasn't paying attention. Taser, taser, taser.
Talk about a moment. She was the FTO, field training officer. And one of her greatest achievements, she'll tell you, is that she is on the honor guard for police officers who die in the line of duty. She is the one among several who carry the caskets. Police officers who are shot. And every officer will tell you that the most dangerous thing a police officer will do is respond to a traffic stop or an act of
shout out to Manny
violence.
Miranda Jr.
And everybody that
Thank
makes
you,
a
bro.
stop knows that something may go wrong. So that's her career. That's who she is. And over the course of 26 years, she never fired a gun. She never fired one shot. She never fired her taser. She never had to.
And this means what? This means because the first time she did it, she fucked up and took her life. Don't mean nothing. Johnny F. Face. Shout out to Johnny F. Face. This means that because she did it the first time means that she doesn't have to pay for it. It's all about, listen, we all from this country. We know if you fuck up, you gotta pay for it. This was a severity that she made. This was so high of a severity that she made. She can't put no money down on this. No, you gotta do the time. You gotta man up and do the time. Stick them titties out, okay? Tighten that flat butt. Walk in there and do the time. Simple as that. Just walk up in there and do the time. You fucked up. And as confident as you were in the patrol car, that should not have happened. You was too eager. You were too eager to put this dude down. Whether you wanted to tase him down or your intentions were to shoot him down. A lot of people, we doubt that you were trying to shoot him down. We think you was just too gung-fucking-ho. Okay? You just thought you had all the eggs in the basket. And you didn't. You fucked up. So you got to pay for it.
she was good at de-escalating everything, and here that's what she's trying to do. I'll tase you, which is another way of saying, please stop, so I don't have to hurt you. Please stop. So that's who she is. She'll tell you that. Sergeant Johnson is on the scene.
Let's say she's everything but a piece of shit, okay? Because straight up, if you do come with anything less than saying what happened, the truth, hey, I fucked up, it was an accident, motherfuckers respect that. Take yourself down to the office. Look, I fucked up. No, they not putting it like that. They're not putting it like that. They putting it in a way where as though she did it, but she should be excused for it. Get the fuck out of here.
He's 41. He started the force in 2005. He became a member of the SWAT team, and you'll see that he is an imposing guy, 6'2", 6'3". He's on the SWAT team because of his physicality.
Shout out to Mr. C. Mr. C said, y'all straw man in the world at Rosem. Of course she will. At the minimum, involuntary manslaughter. At worst, second-degree murder. She will be going to prison. That's Mr. C. Mr. C standing hard on that. He said she will be going to prison. She better. She better. And I bet when she get on the block, she going to be a Maytag. She going to be washing motherfuckers' drawers and socks off by hand and shit. You know, she going to be a Maytag. She won't get in when she fit in. You know what I'm saying? That's if she go to Gym Pop. But most likely she won't be going to Gym Pop. But shout outs to Rosem. Rosem said that she might be going to Gym Pop.
SWAT teams, he'll explain to you, go into houses to arrest people, do search warrants, and are engaged in the activities designed to arrest people who don't want to be arrested, and anything that's involving a dangerous course of action, the SWAT team is often called. He'll describe that to you. But the fact of the matter is, SWAT team members tend to be fearless because they take the most risks. And on this day, he was the guy who opened the passenger car door and stayed in the car. And he was the guy that she wanted to save. So that's Sergeant Johnson. He's a patrol sergeant. He's her supervisor. He evaluates her. And he's on duty that day. He gets the radio call and he arrives. Finally, we have Anthony Lucky, who is the young one of the bunch, but old in terms of experience. Mr. Lucky's in his 20, Officer Lucky's in his 20. He grew up in Brooklyn Park, which of course is next to Brooklyn Center, graduated from high school there. He too will tell you that somewhere along the line when he was 7 or 8, he decided to be a police officer. After high school, he went to junior college for 2 years, Rasmussen, got certified. You need a 2-year degree to be a police officer, 4-year, 2-year, and got his boards and started becoming a police officer. His first job was up in Mille Lacs for the Mille Lacs band up in Mille Lacs Lake. The geography was a little tough. That's not kind of where he wanted to be. He had a job in Gaylord, Minnesota, small town north, south, and west of here. And then he applied to where he always wanted to be, which was Brooklyn Center.
Wow.
And Brooklyn Center was right next to where he lived. He knows the streets, he'll tell you. He knows the people. He knows the culture. He has intuitions about what is occurring because he grew up here. And in a sense, wait for him to testify as well. So those are the 3 people that really know what happened here. Let me go now into April 11th. On this day, Officer Lucky is supervised, as we said, by former Officer Potter. They start the shift. It's a Sunday. It's not.
Remember, supervised. She was the highest rank out there on the field with him. She was the supervisor. She was teaching motherfuckers.
uneventful. Nothing is happening much on a Sunday in April in Brooklyn Center, but they're on routine patrol. An FTO supervises the new police officer. Officer Lucky just started in February of this year. And he's driving along and he sees a white GM Buick in a turn lane. The signals are opposite. Instead of turning left, there's a signal to turn right. His curiosity is piqued. He decides to follow the car. It's his decision. As he follows the car, he runs the plate. He notes that the tabs are expired. He sees a Christmas tree hanging from the mirror. But this case isn't about tabs. It's not about Christmas trees. He has a right to stop. He makes the decision. It's his own decision. She joins.
Shout out to Levelwise to see. I think she's correcting me. I think she just checked me in the chat and told me that she wasn't the highest ranking officer at the time. She said she was a supervisor, but Johnson was her supervisor. Okay.
Said she doesn't oppose it. And he stops the car, and you're going to see a much longer video as we go through here. So he does what he's trained to do. He walks up to the car door. The window comes down. He immediately notices the odor of marijuana. They didn't tell you that last hour. He sees marijuana shake inside the car.
And I didn't hear him say... That's one thing that's kind of skeptical with this officer, because never heard him mention that until they started getting those hits in the car that he was hot. Then he just all of a sudden talking about marijuana shake. I guess I think he said that when he mentioned it over the radio. I'm not sure. But it just came out of nowhere. I didn't hear him mention that to Kim Potter. It just came out of nowhere.
He asked for a license. Mr. Wright, who is driving the car, has no license.
Shout out to Patrick Bellemare.
He can't give him one. His license is suspended. He asked for insurance. Officer Lucky does, because in Minnesota, to drive a car, you got to have insurance. And the reason you have insurance is that should you get into a crash, that the victims of your crash can be compensated. And the only insurance card that Mr. Wright could produce was something 4 years old in a different name. So we've got some flags here going on. It's not anything about the tabs any longer. It's about someone who shouldn't be driving a car at all. Lucky goes back to the car. They get in. He runs a warrant check. Standard. There are different databases that can be used to run a warrants check. If you've ever stopped, this has happened to you as well. But so he runs a check, and you'll hear the audio of it, and there's a warrant for him. So this changes the equation. The warrant is for a gun charge. A gun charge. It's a gross misdemeanor, and this causes Lucky, who lives in the area, to be alarmed, because he knows from his own personal experience from this area that a substantial percentage of people driving in Brooklyn Center have guns in their car. He'll estimate it's up to 40%. That may be high, but that's for his own.
Y'all say I'm quiet, right? I'm just listening to this bullshit. This is what you call the base of the bullshit that he's putting together. All right. He needs something to support it. So this is what he's creating right now. A supporting base to carry all the other bullshit he about to dump into this shit. This shit is crazy, man. Hit the lights! Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for everybody.
Anecdotal experience, but there's a substantial chance he'll tell you that there's now a gun in the car because the guy's got a gun warrant. And he'll tell you he thought there was a substantial chance Wright had a gun either on his person.
Shout out to Mr. Imperial.
Or in the left container of the car in the doorway, or in the console, which is where you hide the guns. Okay. He's alerted. So they run more checks though. And what they didn't tell you an hour ago is there was a harassment order against Mr. Wright. A female had secured an order for protection against him because he had been violent against her. So
shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Mr. Imperial that just stepped in the building after almost 2 hours of me streaming. Mr. Imperial, we just watched new video of the Duante Wright shooting by Officer Kim Powder. Now we're looking at the defense basically preparing to warm the jury's ass over with a bunch of bullshit. Shout outs to Aubrey. Shout outs to S. Alex. Perfect sense when needed. Liz F. Level Wise to C. Michael Ray Russell. Dreamland Moore. Appreciate y'all. All of y'all. Renetta Williams. The Discerning Observer. Appreciate you. My new member, the Discerning Observer. Rose M. All y'all. Manny Miranda Jr. Wake Up America.
His license is suspended. He asked for insurance. Officer Lucky does, because in Minnesota, to drive a car, you got to have insurance. And the reason you have insurance is that should you get into a crash, that the victims of your crash can be compensated. And the only insurance card that Mr. Wright could produce was something 4 years old in a different name. So we've got some flags here going on. It's not anything about the tabs any longer. It's about someone who shouldn't be driving a car at all. Lucky goes back to the car. They get in. He runs a warrant check. Standard.
It was somebody who wasn't supposed to be driving a car at all. So, therefore, because he resisted, he tried to get back in the car and flee from these police officers. Because he did all of that, excuse Kim Powder's negligence of shooting the shit out of him.
May I say something?
Of course you can.
I was just taken aback from the statement of his big bad minor harassment charge and his misdemeanor gun charge. Even they didn't think it was that serious. It was a misdemeanor. That they couldn't let him get away, as they said, like he was El Chapo or something. I mean, it's not like he was going to flee to the Cayman Islands or somewhere they can't extradite him from, because I'm sure he didn't have much money to do all that. So they would have caught him in the neighborhood talking to Pookie and Spider on the block a week later and picked him up. It wasn't that serious. I mean, why couldn't they just let him get away? They was going to find him. It's just some things you just gotta let go and sit back. You're gonna find him. I don't understand why they were saying that they couldn't let him get away for his misdemeanor gun charge and his minor harassment charge. He said.
Let me ask you this, because my memory needs to be refreshed from time to time. Wait, before I do, let me shout out Aubrey as a new member. Appreciate you, Aubrey. Thanks for that. Shout outs to Aubrey for
being. Have his name, date of birth, address. They was gonna find him right on the block because he can't flee out the country.
Listen,
it wasn't even that serious.
Was there a weapon found in the car? I don't think it was.
No.
I don't remember.
That shake they found in the car. You know that shake is dangerous on them roads.
Right. Not only that,
it's legal in like 20 so states, but
Not only that, him just not being able to drive a car like this, like the defense just said, he wasn't even supposed to be driving a car. Pretty much constitutes him being killed and excusing the mistake. See, they trying to excuse the mistake. That's the part that they trying to smooth over, excusing the mistake.
Yeah, I mean, legally, you're supposed to be able to travel without all that stuff they talking about. And just because he had his turn signal on to the right instead of left, because he was in the left-hand lane, shouldn't be no reason to think that somebody had to be high. I leave my blinker on all the time. I don't be high when I'm driving. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. Like, why would that even raise suspicion?
Yeah.
It's absurd. But that's what they do. They harass and collect, and that's what they want. They hit that jackpot. They probably saw that warrant as soon as they ran his name or ran the tags or whatever. I mean,
Funny when they got back to the car. It was like, everything was just la-di-da. Everything was just as usual. Like, that's how they found out his name, because they ran the tags, right?
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. They saw all that. But I mean, the reason they got behind him was ridiculous. Oh, I'm suspicious because he got his right turn signal on because his left one should be on right now. So he must be under the influence or something. Suspicious is not a misdemeanor nor a felony level. We all know that. But thanks for being so facetious.
Right. Shout out Jimmy.
Databases that can be used to run a warrants check. If you've ever stopped, this has happened to you as well. But so he runs a check, and you'll hear the audio of it, and there's a warrant for him. So this changes the equation. The warrant is for a gun charge. A gun charge. It's a gross misdemeanor, and this causes Lucky, who lives in the area, to be alarmed, because he knows from his own personal experience from this area, a substantial percentage of people driving in Brooklyn Center have guns in their car. He'll estimate it's up to 40%. That may be high, but that's for his own. Find out who she is, to see if she is in danger. This is standard police work. No fault can be had for the strategy here. So Lucky walks up to the door, tells him, Mr. Wright, to get out.
Ace again said it straight up. Profile.
Oh yeah, the warrant. They discovered the warrant before he got killed. That's why they was putting him in cuffs. They discovered the warrant. Just to answer your question, Rose. Yeah.
Can't arrest him inside the car. So he directs him to get out, and about the same time, all three of them say, you're under arrest. And Johnson, by this time, has conferred. He knows what the situation is, too. So there's an arrest warrant for a gun. In hindsight, I suppose, they could have taken Wright further back. But all these officers will say that sometimes they arrest at the doorway. The plan was to cuff him and then figure out what to do. They had to cuff him, recheck the warrant, recheck the woman, and then figure out what to do. This is all legitimate. This is all legitimate police work. And all Mr. Wright had to do was surrender on the warrant, which he had to have known about. All he had to do. So he gets him out of the car, Lucky does. And then you hear on the videotape, which you'll hear many times, is he turns Duante Wright to the car, tries to get his arms back, which is what he's supposed to do, and then Wright starts to tense up. And Lucky says, don't tense up.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tense up.
Yeah. I'm going to hear how he's going to explain this bullshit. I'm so eager to hear how he's going to explain how she fucked up. Check your private message too, Stop Injustice.
I think it's the language that you'll hear. So we have someone who's supposed to surrender and doesn't want to surrender. And he gets back in the car. And it's chaotic. It's fast moving. This is really quick. Mr. Wright is extremely fast. He knows exactly what he wants to do, and that is escape. So he twists and turns back in the car. And at this point, Johnson enters the car. Johnson holds, as I say, the gear shift. So he can't drive. Lucky's trying to hang on. And at this point, he has to be stopped. He can't just drive away because the police officers know that fleeing a police officer is also a felony. And fleeing at a dangerous speed, which you saw in the video, is a dangerous felony. It's a crime of violence.
Oh man! So these are all the reasons why we should excuse her negligence of killing him. Are you serious? They tripping.
They also know they can't let him go. They can't. The court has said arrest him. I'll tase you, I'll tase you, I'll tase you, she says. It's clear, it's direct, it's rooted in her hostage crisis training. She announces what's going to happen to him. She hopes, as I tell you, that he will comply, be arrested. She repeats it twice. I'll tase you, I tase you, and there's 5 seconds. And then, as I told you, she sees Johnson, whose location was key to the case.
Shout out to Constitution Matt. He said, I'm trying to understand the logic behind some of these comments in the chat, so I will ask this delicately as I can. And I'm waiting for him to continue. Come on, bring it, Constitution Matters.
Because if this guy drives away, he's dead. He's dead. So the moment, what happens, she shouts, taser, taser, taser. And one of the issues for you, or the key issue in the case for you, is what was her conscious thought as to whether or not she had a taser in her arm or whether or not she had a gun.
The objection is overruled.
The evidence will show you in her own testimony and in your intuition after watching. She shouts, taser, taser, taser. And one of the issues for you, or the key issue in the case for you, is what was her conscious thought as to whether or not she had a taser in her arm or whether or not she had a gun.
The objection is overruled.
I didn't hear the objection. If anybody know what the objection was,
her own testimony.
If y'all know what the objection was, please put it in the chat. But it was overruled, whatever prosecution objected against.
And in your intuition after watching the video 10 times is that she believed that she possessed a taser. That's why she said taser, taser, taser. She didn't say gun, gun, gun. And if she believed that she had a taser, which she did, then she did not have an awareness of possessing a gun.
So the Constitution Matters, he chimed in and said, so are we saying that if she were black, she would be found guilty? Are we saying that she should be judged differently because she was white? Well, I definitely don't think she should be judged differently by the color of her skin. No matter if you were black, white, green, orange, yellow, and you did that out there, you should be handled the same way. The situation should be handled the same way. So to answer your first question, are you saying that if she were black, she would be found guilty? Not only do I think she would be found guilty, but the penalty would be harsher. And that's just my opinion. That's just how I feel. Everybody knows I keep it real. That's just the way it is. That's just how it is in my mindset. I could be wrong, but I truly believe that if it was a person of color, it would be found guilty and the penalty would be much harsher.
You know, the crimes that are alleged here are going to be defined by Judge Chu at the end of the trial, but it's just not shooting somebody. That's not the crime. It's being consciously aware of some kind of fact.
All right, Counselor, please stick to the facts.
Stick to the facts. He been off track. Way off track. Ever since he came through. Judge finally come stick to the facts. Let him wayside like that. Let that man wayside like that the whole time he been in here. The whole what? How many minutes? 25, 42 seconds. 25 minutes, 42 seconds. This motherfucker has been bullshitting.
Well, as you look at the case, you decide whether when she said taser, 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 she meant something else. You decide. And that's why we're here, essentially. We have that dispute. So that takes care of what happened. You know who the testimony is going to be. Now I want to tell you who our other witnesses are going to be before you, and then we'll get going on the case. We're going to call several witnesses. The first one will be Timothy Gannon. He's the police chief, former police chief of Brooklyn Center. He was starting at Brooklyn Center in 1994, about the same time former Officer Potter did. His rise through the department was a different course. He was on the SWAT team. He became a sergeant quite quickly, and then he became a commander. There are 3 commanders, and then the police chief, and then eventually he became the police chief of Brooklyn Center. And he's going to testify first. He's a veteran of the Iraq wars. He's got a VA. He's a wealth of experience. He's been in over 100 critical instances in his life where shots were fired. He's been in danger himself. And he'll testify about the training that Brooklyn Center police officers take, and he'll testify that he's seen the videotape himself. Different views of the tape now as it become more produced in the discovery. He'll say that given the position of Johnson's body in the car, it was consistent with Officer Potter's training to not only shoot a taser, she certainly could do that, consistent with what she was trained to do, but she could have also shot him.
What? So he's saying it was optional. Wait a minute. Listen. I've been streaming for a minute, so I can get a little off track. Let me take this back 10 seconds. 15 seconds. Let me take it back 15 seconds. But from what he just said was that, yes, she was within her right to shoot him with a taser, but she was also within her right to shoot him. What I'm getting from that is that he's saying it was optional. And the fact that she made a mistake doesn't fucking matter. Listen.
It's consistent with Officer Potter's training to not only shoot a taser, she certainly could do that, consistent with what she was trained to do, but she could have also shot him, which is not intention, but she could have shot him, given the fact that Johnson almost died. But that will be his testimony. He'll also tell you a little bit about being in these traumatic critical incidents, is what they're calling in police training and the police world. And he'll tell you that he's been in, as I say, 100, but he'll also tell you that there's certain inability to recall events that happen so quickly and they're so violent.
When they're so violent. So only person that was violent was Kim Potter, okay? To a certain degree, they all had to be violent collectively when he started to resist. They was trying to get him into custody. It didn't work out. But the severe violence came from Kim Potter, all right? So it sounds like he's generalizing the violent part as if it was shared equally throughout both parties. She was the violent one. All right. Shout out to Aubrey. He said, replay that, please. Like I said, what I got out of that is that it was optional for her to either shoot him with a taser or shooting with the pistol like she did. So this is what they're going to bring to the table.
And part of Officer Potter's testimony will be a lack of recall as to some details in this. She's got most of them, but some details are gone. And that does happen during critical instances involving trauma. So he'll tell you a little bit more about that. We're going to call next a fellow from Missouri named Steve Iams, I-J-A-M-S. He's a 29-year veteran of police work, and he's going to testify as to the reasonable use of a taser. There is a question here. They're going to present their own expert named Stoughton, and we will present an expert to you in the form of Iams, Steve Iams, that the use of the taser was certainly legitimate. It was appropriate. There was enough distance. The central claim, factual dispute that you're going to have to decide is whether the car was moving or whether, in other words.
All right, y'all. It's been over 2 hours of me streaming the Kim Potter trial. I don't even know what day it is. They took so long to get it started. But I just wanted to show y'all some highlights on that. We seen new video, and we also seen the defense talk a lot of bullshit and for Kim Potter. I'm not accepting none of it. She got to go. Shout out to Wake Up America. The Discerning Observer. Rules Level Wise to see. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I'm getting tired. Y'all make sure y'all stay safe. Shout out to Michael Ray Russell. Definitely, it's Thursday now. Mr. Imperial. Appreciate y'all. Patrick Bellamere. Aubrey. Shout out to my new members, Aubrey. Shout out to my new member, the Discerning Observer, Liz F.
It's a very psychological thing that's happening here.
Shout out to Jimmy. Dirt Plant. Michael Ray Russell. Ace again. Appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all be safe out there. Hopefully I come back tomorrow as long as the content is juicy. As long as there's some juicy highlights I can bring to y'all. Got more people that's jumping up on that stand. We didn't even go over his mother. His mother was on the stand. That was sad. It's a lot of stuff. It was 8 hours of trial going down today. So couldn't cover everything. But I covered what I thought that mattered. All right, good night. I'm out of here. Hit the lights. Everybody about to get killed out here. Like it for